Hello, hello. Is this working? Hello, hello. Looks like it is. I'm gonna just test things out real quick because I'm still learning. I don't hear anything. That's weird. That's really weird. Picked up the. How about that? Is that better? How about that? Is that better? And I can hear myself, but I'm so quiet. Okay, test, test. Okay, test, test. Dang, still sucks. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, that's better. The way I had it to begin with. But it still seems pretty quiet compared to last week. And my volume's pretty high. Well, oh. Oh. I think I just had my volume kind of low. Alright, I'm going to mute that. Alright, I think everything's set up. So this is Portstopolis. It is a city from a book that I'm writing, and I'm making it in Blender, so people can see it and kind of get immersed in it. It's I kind of want to, I guess, my main inspiration, just sort of with the artistic style, is kind of that cell shaded anime, like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. We'll see as things go. I've learned the basics of what seems to be a decent toon shader, but as you can see, I haven't applied it to much yet. But I've applied it to the lighthouse, so we can look at that. And I didn't do anything in between this and last week. Well, maybe I did a little bit, but I didn't do much. But this is kind of the idea. This at least has the shader applied. Maybe not this part yet, but the only thing that's really weird about this is the shadow. Like, I'm pretty happy with it. I guess that looks kind of weird, but I have a way that I've learned. I'll probably have to relearn it to kind of edit that. But the way the shadow is cast onto other objects, like here, it looks perfect, and then it disappears when you're up here, which obviously doesn't make any sense. That also doesn't make sense, that shadow. But I'm not going to do tutorials on stream, at least not tonight. So hopefully, as I come back, I'll just little by little, I'm just taking baby steps with Blender right now. Made this big building. I kind of think the building's too big. It's huge. It's based on the Hagia Sophia, but I'm trying to not, I'm trying to make it a different kind of thing altogether. In this case, it's more of like a government kind of building, I think. Yeah, there's a lot little background on this town, on this city. It's something I've been thinking about, I guess most of my life, along with a lot of other of the places and elements in my story, in the book I'm writing. This one was one of my favorite places, and it's Portstopolis. It's sort of a big. The idea is it's going to be a big city. I made this landmass like pretty huge, so I don't know how much the city will kind of like wrap around on these cliffs. It might stop at the hill, or it might not even make it that far. I'm just gonna see as I go. And there's a lot of detail in the story. Certain things like pretty big kind of pirate community. There's a community of shipwrights, like people that build ships that are some among the most skilled shipbuilders in the world. And there's sort of, a diversity from the different places of this world that I've created for these stories. This place is sort of I guess you could say like a melting pot of cultures, but it's not supposed to be like the United States. Maybe it kind of is, I'm from the United States, but everything's probably going to look a little bit like the United States because it's what I know. But it's definitely, architecturally, I'm taking inspiration from like Mediterranean, like this is like Greek, like super East Mediterranean. And I think today I want to work on this. This is the upper marketplace, which I've just kind of blocked out here, but I'd like to start kind of seeing how detailed I want to get with it. And a lot's up in the air for this project. Like, I don't know the limitations really of Blender yet, or of like the limitations of my computer. Could be, I might find at a certain point that I've just done too much, right? And hopefully not at the very end when I try to render. I'm going to try to render before I'm done just to see how that's going periodically. But yeah, I think for this upper marketplace, I want this to be kind of God, I was just talking so much and now my voice is all hoarse, but that's okay. I want to base it. I want it to be really fancy. Sort of, because I'm gonna do a huge market, maybe on and down at the base of this hill. That's gonna be kind of just the main market, but this one's sort of like an exclusive upper class kind of situation. So for inspiration, I took some pictures of this square, this plaza that I visited in Spain in a town called Salamanca. And I kind of want to use this as the inspiration. This is really highly detailed. I'm probably not going to get that detailed, at least not right away. But we'll see. As I learn Blender and get more confident, it would be nice to get pretty detailed. Because I want to do shots. I want to do, I want to get a bunch of different kinds of shots of this place. As I get kind of deeper into it and just thinking about like where I could go with it, For now, I'm just making a static image, but it might be cool to add some animations at some point. Probably just starting on a small scale. I really like those, Journey of Ithia, or I don't know. It's that YouTube channel that like has YouTube channel that it sort of does these cool like animated scenes of like a marketplace or a part of a busy town, or I think sometimes it's kind of also just like a kind of lonely landscape, wilderness scene, maybe, or a road with people walking by, and it's, you know, they just kind of do, it's just got this nice like immersive feel where there's just a few little animations and some good music. And I could see that's kind of an inspiration of where I'd like to go with this, but maybe a little bit more detailed. We'll see how I do, you know. I always kind of get ahead of myself. It's like one step at a time. But but I think that'd be really fun. Just kind of, and so I could like zoom into the market and maybe have people moving around a little bit and some market sounds and maybe get some music. Oh, which reminds me, I looked into music that I can play on Twitch. Right, there's this one I want to check out called Epidemic. I might do that later. I wonder if I just put on like maybe like some Mario Sunshine music. I bet that'd be okay. That won't get me DMCA'd. I feel like people do Mario music all the time. I'm gonna do a quick audio check here. Sounds good. There's barely a delay. Yeah, 2 weeks ago I didn't have my settings right, and I did like a whole like hour or 2 hour stream, and I think like every 30 seconds it was like pausing to load, and by the end of the stream it was like 20 minutes behind or something. It was ridiculous. But you know, a bunch of people came in at the very beginning, and unfortunately they left, I'm sure because it was such a horrible situation. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna get some music. I didn't realize he was gonna talk. So I want to do another audio check. It seems pretty quiet. Let's see how it is like with me talking. There's talk, and there's music playing. I'm saying words. And then I can't hear any of the words I'm saying because let's see. I know technical difficulties early on. So the app mic. It's all the way up. This mic seems so inconsistent. Like a week ago, it was so much louder. But I'll turn the desktop audio down. So this is me talking over the music, and then I'm going to pause the music so I can actually hear how it compares, since this, for me, is way louder than the sound of the Twitch stream. Oh, I can't even hear the music that way. So we'll kind of just go back the way it was. Oh, am I using the wrong mic? Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Oh, no, that's way better. Testing, testing. Oh, no, that's way better. So it is the mic. So it is the mic. I'm going to change these settings again. Okay, how's this? Testing, testing. Okay, how's this? Testing, testing. Oh, that's terrible. And this, any better? Probably worse. And this, any better? Probably worse. Okay. Okay. So this is the best. So this is the best. But I have to be like right on it. But I have to be like right on it. I don't wanna. Am I just not as loud? I feel like last week it was sounding so much better. It's so weird to have everything I say repeated back to me. Well, this is just how it is, I guess. Yeah, it's just really quiet, I guess. If anyone's watching, I hope you don't mind turning it up. Anyway, the music's not the most important part. What is getting my reference files, my reference images together. I think I already did a pretty good job of organizing the plazas. As you can see, there's some Age of Empires 2 influence here. I mean, in the long run, with the architecture, I'm probably going to mix it up. It's definitely like a Mediterranean vibe starting off, and it's probably going to be throughout, but I might borrow some stuff from some other places. We'll see. But I got a lot of these guys. I'm just curious, like, about the markets. So I think this is like an African. Is that the market? No, that's the market. Yeah, I like how they have towers. This one's more European, I think. I don't know why it's so hard to find. It's in the same spot every time. Alright, Marketplace. Yeah, that one's kind of got the vibe. It's kind of got the vibe. Architecture MT. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to crop it, but I guess I don't need to crop it. I'll just zoom in and out. So we're looking at this. This one's kind of cool. I don't think this one's going to be the upper market though. That one's not bad. That one definitely has like the kind of like, I'd say like I don't want to be bound to this, but I think probably the closest equivalent in the real world of this town would be like some like colonial city in the Caribbean, you know, during like the golden age of piracy. But it's kind of like, maybe there's definitely going to be some more like Renaissance influence in the fashion, and because that was all kind of like what, like post-Renaissance era, the colonial times, right? I think maybe they overlapped. I'm not an expert, but I enjoy history a lot. This one's kind of got the vibe. The Featoria. Okay. I guess I'll look through these real quick. Wait, what? Luca, I like that name. Yeah, this doesn't... I don't think it's much is gonna look like this. A little bit, because there is gonna be this other society that sort of influences everything in the world that kind of... I'm gonna use some of that Greek architecture. Let's see, so this one... I already got this one. Sorry, this is probably a little less fun, but it's good for me to organize things. Some more of that Greek stuff. It's all very nice. This one, I already got this one. Yeah, I guess I'm just calling it plaza, so I'll be referencing this for other plazas than just the upper market plaza. So yeah, I'm planning on doing this Thursdays, usually at 7. I got a late start today, but might not next week because the Avatar is coming out, and I'm definitely excited to check it out. And if I'm enjoying it, I might just want to watch the whole thing all night. But we'll see. Let's see, did I already... Plaza... Yeah, these Greek ones need to go somewhere else entirely, but that's a project way down the road. Okay. I love this. That's the Hagia Sophia. Before it got the spires, or whatever they call them. It's just a nice building. Cool funky staircase. Big old basilica, I think. Oh, wait, yeah, what? Florence. It's Florence. Hagia Sophia, more modern. See, that's a huge building, and it's a big deal. And I think in mine, it's like I want it to look like that and be like a cool building that's based off of it a little bit. But I'm not actually trying to reference it, and I think I've done a good enough job of, you know, making it my own. You know, so it's inspired, not derivative. I'll still be making more details and changes too, but I really think I'm probably gonna make it smaller. I've just been calling it Parliament for now. What's underneath it? Oh, well, that's not part of it. So yeah, let's just toned it down just a little. This isn't the first time I've made it smaller, but I think when I first made it, it was actually like even bigger than the real Hagia Sophia. Which, I mean, you know, the Hagia Sophia, it's not the biggest building in the world, but it's a big deal, and it's got a complicated story that I honestly don't know a lot about, so I really am not trying to... See, this is the Age of Empires version of it. This is where I really got my inspiration, because when I was younger, I'd play Age of Empires and I'd go into the editor mode and I'd try to make these cities, you know, and I remember thinking like, I should just do this, you know, with art and just make it my own and stuff. But I always put the Hagia Sophia there, and that's just kind of what's right to me in my mind. But we'll see, you know, as people start to actually see this project and give me feedback, you know, it might be, I guess I'm not sure just the recognizability of the Hagia Sophia, so I might be fine, you know, with like an American audience at least. They might just not even have a clue, so it wouldn't matter. But it is kind of tricky when you like get an idea from something like the Hagia Sophia, and you know, I think when I was a kid and like playing Age of Empires, I just didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what it was called. I just like liked it. I just liked the way it looked. It's got this sort of nice like compactness to it, especially this version of it. You know, the actual real thing is pretty different. Well, and I think because what I do know about the history is that like it was a Christian church and then later became a Muslim mosque, and that's these pillars I think are part of that and were added later. And so in the Age of Empires version, they're showing it before, when it was Byzantine and not Ottoman. Or yeah, see, I don't actually know. So this isn't a history channel. But anyway, it's just interesting. You know, I'm curious to see how people respond to that, and if the feedback is kind of like people think it's like somehow related to that, whether religiously or politically or historically or anything, you know, if there's too much of a connection, then I'll change it more or get rid of it and make something else entirely new. And that's part of why I guess I'm doing this, you know. I want to be more out in the open, out in the open, like, I mean, I want to get that feedback. I want to communicate and kind of learn how other people are seeing the world and seeing art. And I'm particularly good at breaking associations, so like I can like look at, and it's not always, and I'm not like above this by any means, it still affects me, but I can like look at an iconic image, you know, say the Statue of Liberty, and I think if I like put that in this town, it would really change the vibe a lot, right? You know, because everyone's gonna see that and they're gonna be like, oh, it's New York, or it's some kind of weird fantasy New York. And for me personally, I could like I don't want to do this. This is just an example, but I could like do that, and I wouldn't forget that it's, you know, that it's New York, but I could like separate it and not reference it. But that's just like from my perspective as the creator of the art. You know, I think if I saw someone else's art, someone else did that, and there's a Statue of Liberty, my first thought would be like, oh, there's some kind of reference to New York, you know? And so, you know, I'm not intentionally trying to reference Istanbul, Byzantium, Constantinople, wherever this is from, you know? I just like the shape. And I guess in this particular instance, because I I associate this building with Age of Empires, like that's where I discovered it, and for many years that's all it was just a wonder for the Byzantines, and that I liked to put in my little mock-ups of Portstopolis. Anyway, I'm excited to learn more about it all, and just kind of how people kind of where that line is of derivative, inspirational, and recognizability. This might be something that's so just kind of like, historians will see it, or people who've been to Istanbul or from Istanbul or something will be like, whoa, they'll see it. But we'll see what kind of audience I end up with and how they respond to it, Last thing I want to do is like steal to be derivative, as I've said so many times. But I think that's enough ado. And oh yeah, I was going through the photos. Oh, I got to the end. Okay. Let's get the reference up. Where do I want to start? Here's probably one of the best images of like the whole place. This music is so inappropriate. We got these like statues. Yeah, so what do I have? I have kind of the outline. I have little reference guys. I need to get some reference guys over here. They made these buildings huge. This was a little villa I started on. Kind of got stuck and then switched to this other one. Which, oh yeah, I'm gonna turn off the shader because it looks insane right now. This is what I did on the last stream. Feeling pretty good about it. Just found some like fancy villa mansion online that I kind of based it off of. But I'm kind of seeing it, like it was a villa, but I'm almost seeing this more as like some kind of another government building, or like a business or something. It just kind of has that kind of vibe. It's so like square and formal. But we'll see. The intention is to, this is kind of the upper class neighborhood up on the hill by the lighthouse. So I want to do a lot of like mansions and just kind of like these nice villa style buildings, terracotta roofing. I think I'm not totally set on the terracotta roofing. I might go with a gray roof like I did on this on the Parliament building. I might do both. I think something I'm really excited about with this town in particular, this city, is sort of its like combination of different influences from other parts of my world, which ultimately are all influenced by something in the real world, because that's where I live and exist. And I'd say the goal is to like kind of get away from that, but not be totally surreal, right? And I think it's a fantasy, it's escapist, and it's a good thing. That doesn't have to be like a bad, unhealthy thing like that, escapism. So it's sort of rooted. It's got these elements of reality, but it's fantasy. There's some magic and wizards and elves and all kinds and stuff. This, in the cities, the human cities, there's not as much. There's not like a lot of elves or stuff like that. which is something that is like a topic part of the books, is kind of this concept of like how magical beings like elves and fairies interact with civilized spaces, city, large scale settlements of people that have been established for a long time and are developing, right? Are developing into, developing, industrializing. So, back to this market, this plaza. Where do I want to start? I guess the railing on the roof. It's a little bit better resolution on this one. Yeah, it's pretty intricate level of detail, but I think that'll be okay. If worse comes to worse, if like this becomes bogged down with too much detail, when it comes time to render, I can like copy and paste, so like say I want to do a scene over here in like Pirate Town, and maybe, and if all the detail that I've put into the city is like slowing the system down, then maybe I'll break it up into different files is basically what I'm saying. So I can do one that's just like the immediate stuff in the Pirate Town, and that can be really high detail, and then this stuff can be more background and like lower detail, which would be complicated and it would take a lot of time, but that's okay. I know whatever happens, this project's gonna take a while, especially when I just like chat instead of doing it. But that's just a stream. I work offline too and get more done, and I think that's just gonna be the reality of it. But yeah, I have a lot of intentions with this stream, so I guess I'll just talk about them. I want to I think mostly I'm getting into this just because I want to be more like out in the public and stuff. I've been watching Twitch for a little over a year now, and I just really enjoy it, and I've been watching like YouTube for much longer than that. Not so much like live streams, but people that stream on Twitch, and then they make like YouTube videos. And yeah, just realizing there's a lot of good in at least the communities I've been following, and this is just one of many steps in the direction towards more like interaction with that community, and hopefully some people that appreciate this project find it, or that just want to hang out and listen to me talk. That's the main thing. I just kind of want to get involved. I want to make some friends, and but then I started thinking, I had some video game ideas that I didn't really stick with. It was hard. It felt silly, like playing a video game alone and talking. It was fine, but I just wasn't as motivated. And then I thought of this. I was like, oh yeah, like I want to make this city. I started making it, and then I was like, oh shit, I could stream. I could stream it. Lots of artists streaming. It's funny, I never really watched other artists stream, so I don't know. All the people I watch are more like silly gamers and stuff, doing funky challenges and weird things. And, but I think this could be a lot of fun, and I think I'm working on these books, and I'm a hobby writer, but I think about publishing, and definitely fantasize about being recognized and popular and making money and all that good stuff. being successful with my writing. None of my books are really that close to being published, but I finished a couple first drafts. But mostly, yeah, I just been working on this world, you know, whether it's drawings when I was younger or books from the last few years, or just thinking about it. You know, it's been such a big thing in my life. It's so hard to share it with people when you just think about it. You know, it's like, not a lot of people really want to listen to you talk about it, and I feel like just me explaining it doesn't do it justice. It's like I want to write a book with a story that takes you through it, but there's more than that, and the world building aspect is really important to me, so that's why I'm doing this project. It's just like, I just want to make this city, and I want to get really detailed with it. So we're going to have like this big city with these different neighborhoods and all kinds of just people living in it. And, you know, I'm hoping to make little stories here and there, and just kind of side stuff that might not have anything to do with my book, which honestly the book just passes through here really kind of quickly, and I think that's part of why I'm doing this city first, is because the book doesn't get as much time maybe as I'd like. You know, there might be other books later, or it'll just be this. And then I had this idea that I could like this idea because a lot of this world building comes from a sort of game that I played with my friends in high school. We called it Wizard's Quest. It's basically Dungeons and Dragons, but with some differences, and I'm probably gonna have a lot of opportunities to explain it, so I'll just keep it brief for now. But essentially, that's where this city came from. Some of the other world building and stuff I had done before playing that game, and a lot after. But the game was set in this world, and it was playing the game that I came up with this city, and a lot of the game took place in it and stuff. So I'm hoping to kind of give that a little more life, just the memory of that, and you know, be something I might reach out to some of those old friends that really liked it and show them once I've got something a little more to show them. And then that got me thinking though of like, well, I start getting some people interested in this project, and then I might do a sort of like donation tier kind of thing, like, and I need to learn all about it because I don't know if I can do that on Twitch or if that's like a Patreon kind of thing or whatever. But the idea would be like, donate a certain amount and I'll make your house in this city, you know, and maybe a character. I still don't have experience making people in Blender, but I intend to make people. They might be really simple kind of figures, but I want to get into the clothing and the fashion a lot too of this city, which I've already like got this huge kind of reference base for just some of the styles. And you can kind of see here it's got that sort of colonial era, but I don't want to be bound to, you know, Earth real life history and that, but I'm inspired by a lot of just the styles, and there's kind of like pirate and Caribbean and some like Brazilian stuff and some more Mediterranean stuff, and I'm hoping to just, you know, similar to the buildings, the architecture, it's like I don't want to outright copy much of this, but kind of create my own style for this city that is inspired by those styles, because I just think that stuff looks cool, and I'm excited to kind of work with it and see how the world responds to it. So this is still 10 feet tall. I wonder if the market is too big. Because that's what it looks like when it's 4 feet tall. I made this hill like huge. Like the city might not even sprawl that much past it. Although it was always meant to be a huge city, so maybe if I ever figure out how to use these geometry nodes and make more like procedural generated aspects of the city, I can be more free to like expand. But for now, I'm just learning the basics, just making some buildings. Let's look at the reference. So really it's like, oh yeah, I cut this guy out as a measuring tool. This is like a man that's standing pretty close. Could be closer, but pretty close to the building. And so if he's, 6 feet tall, roughly, let's say like 1, 2, 3. So this is like 20 feet. 1, 2, 3. This one's maybe more like 17 or 18 feet. 1, 2, 3. That one's like 20 again. And that actually is pretty big. I mean, it's like 4 feet, I guess, which is what I thought. Put him there just so I don't lose him again. How tall did I make this? 60. And I said what? 20, 18, 20. Okay, yeah, it's like 60 feet. Oh, how do I want to do this? I want to make... I think I want a better image of this place. Salamanca. I like Salamanca. I went there. I thought it was just gorgeous. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous place. I want to go back. Let's look at the map. This isn't gonna okay. So it's a luxury plaza? Is that it? Or Plaza Mayor. Yeah, that's always the name of the biggest plaza in Spanish cities. Kind of cool to get the bird's eye view. Also drop in here. Oh man, Google is awesome. Take it for granted. It's kind of just incredible. I can plop down in here like this. Okay, so what I want is Salamanca Plaza. So beautiful at night. Lighting. That's one thing I hope I can really get a good handle on, is like the lighting. I really really want to do images at night and daytime of this town. But yeah, I really hope this takes off. Ooh, this is a good high-res image. Ooh, yeah, that's way better. Reference. Yeah, I really hope people come and check it out. And how's that not? That doesn't help me. Why is it like that? Spotify. Can I just change it? Kind of revealing my lack of computer knowledge. I know what I know, and I don't know some other stuff. What I do know with this is I can just take a screenshot, and that'll, it's not ideal, but it's probably fine for a reference. Portstopolis. Love that. Okay. That thumbnail freaked me out. I was like, wait, is this not gonna work either? This, in case anyone's wondering, is PureRef. It's a wonderful program that just lets you drop images in and stretch them and move them around, overlap them, whatever. And it's just nice, you know. At some point, I'll have to get better at color theory, and you can just do like whole kind of color palette things with images. It looks really cool. What are these? Oh, they're like, they could like dangle banners from them. Is that what they're for? I wonder. There's some flags. Or maybe, is it like a gutter? No, that'd be insane. The water just pouring straight down there. Unless that's just how they did it. And you just didn't. Except, yeah, wouldn't you put it there so that it's not in the middle of the arch, at least? No, it's gotta be something else. Whatever. I don't think I'm going to be putting those in mine. But I think I need to go to the restroom, and then I'll be back, and I don't know if I'm going to stream that much longer, to be honest. It's been fun just talking and looking at things and kind of setting up for the next work sesh. I'll be right back. I'm back. Just need some water. Okay. Hope everyone's doing well. Even everyone who's not watching, which is everyone else that exists. So my plan here is to make these columns, and then I can just copy and paste the columns. I guess I should start with the big columns. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna make this a lot smaller. I'm gonna pull it off screen just so I can look back at it as I work. So if say the main column, this bit is 4 feet or a little over 4, then the whole thing's probably 10. So this is like 6 feet, 5 or 6. And that might be, I'm probably just gonna do this shape pretty similar, but this, that might be a good chance to kind of mess around and think of something cool. Something nautical, maybe. This is the town of the sea. The city of the sea. I wonder how this music's gonna go with the copyright thing and the silencing, the muting of the VOD. Not too worried about it. I'm not sure if anyone's ever going to watch this. I think if I get some traction going and get a little following, people might want to look back and check it out. Not sure if they're going to want to watch the whole thing. Maybe. Sometimes I go back when I really like someone and they don't have a lot of content out, especially. And I just really want to see what they were doing, or I'm just interested for some reason or another. So yeah, this is me getting started, talking to you in the future, whether that's a few days from now or a couple years or never. It was 4 feet tall. It's, we'll say 2 by 2, 2 feet, 2 feet, and 4 feet. And I think I might do this. No distractions. So annoying they do decimal points. Feet don't work like that. It's 12 inches, not 10. Love it or hate it. It's the way it is. No, not scale. Grab. Ooh, I like this song. Looking up this song, I want to save it for later. Book in the bottle. Not coming up on Spotify. If I put Mario. Oh well, I guess I just gotta enjoy it now while I'm listening to it. Check it out on YouTube or something for the future. That's not Plaza Mayor, that's the church. Or is that the university? Oh yeah, I think Salamanca has the oldest university in the world. I think some other cities have the oldest university in the world too. Don't know which one's right, but I've been to that one, so I'm gonna say that one. I was not a student, I was just visiting. Tapered. Whoa. Hobbies. A little more than the original, but you know, I want it to be different anyway. Kind of coming along. Oh yeah, I see what's going on here. So it's not. Okay, I had the wrong idea. Because the whole thing gets bigger as it goes up. So what I want to do is like that, and then make a mirror of Let's... Yeah. That's what we want. And it's... Okay, the taper is too steep. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, but it'll work now. There we go. So I still want it a little tapered, just not as much. Yeah! And we can actually make it... Oh, no. There we go. Yeah, probably about a foot. Yeah, I think it could be really fun to get people involved somehow on an interactive level, kind of a massive level too. You know, there's one thing with the game I was talking about earlier that I played in high school, that something that set it apart from most D&D games is that it involved like easily over 100 people, maybe even like over 200 people, that, and granted most of them, you know, didn't play a lot, but and in the end there were kind of these smaller groups that played, but there were sort of generations. Like the first time we played, that was probably when the most people got involved. It was at this sort of camp situation, and people were just making characters and leveling up and going on quests and stuff, but really there was kind of like a core group that did most of it, most of the role playing, and helped me with the world building and that, and then later when I went back to school, that group for the most part faded away from the game, but a good amount of people in my school got involved too, and a few of them, two of them specifically, and a couple guys from the original core group that also went to my school, played it like more than anyone else and stuff, and so they ended up being a big part of the world building. And yeah, I guess my point with this is that I'm hoping as I kind of make this world and people see it, and it'd be cool to make people kind of a part of it in some way. And I mentioned it earlier, this idea I want to like give people, let someone have like their own house and have some say in what it's like, you know, and however much they want to say. And you know, I'll veto things and stuff because I am trying to get a particular kind of vibe going in this city, so if it goes against that, I wouldn't allow it. But ultimately, I just think that could be a really cool way to kind of get people involved and just really give a lot of life to this project. Like, you get people involved, you get them kind of, they can participate in the story, so it's like you make yourself a character. I was thinking like the lowest, easiest tier would just be like you get a character, right? They're a visitor to the town, to the city, and you can give them a little backstory, or I can give them the backstory, you know, however much the person wants to get involved and contribute. give them their own fashions and style. They can look like you, or they can look like however you want them to look. And then a tier up from that would be like, oh, you get a house, you know, and like, do you get a big house or small house? Those could be different tiers. And I just think a lot of interesting, you know, I just like those. There could be more like slice of life stories and just kind of these tales, and kind of bring me back to the fun of that game, which was just the creative collaboration. You know, I think that was just really, it was a really special time for me, and I think it was for at least the people who really got into it. And oh man, this song's pretty cool too. So I've got kind of the right shape going on, but it's definitely got like a modern, it's so angular and crisp looking, which, I mean, you know, the resolution on my image isn't helping. But I think it's not what these look like. They're more like, I guess they're more rounded. Ew. I don't like that. Why is it like that? Oh, I'm not sure how much more I got in me of this, but at least I did a little something. Mostly had a nice time just kind of talking, getting some thoughts out. How long have I been going? Looks like an hour and 15 minutes almost. Is that right? Yeah, it is right. Oh, I forgot to post on Instagram that I'm streaming. Could help. But now that I'm thinking about it, world building stream. Let's see, I'm calling it City of the Sea for now. I wonder if that's a good name. Like, it's that referential thing. Like, is this just gonna make people think of this thriller mystery movie from 2002 that I've never heard of? Was this a famous movie? Robert De Niro. Because that's not what this is about. Maybe I'll do City by the Sea. Wait. Oh, that's what the movie actually is called? Okay. Never mind. I'll stick to City of the Sea. I didn't catch that. That's so funny. That just like subliminally, like, I didn't notice that it was called that, and I thought I was fixing it by suggesting that. Okay, City of the Sea it is. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that happened. Oh, I just realized something. Download in assets. That's right. I'm not above it. But I downloaded an asset of a villa. Not these ones, but I'm basically cannibalizing it to just like take some of the pieces. And look at this. This is exactly the kind of vibe I want over here. Vibe, yeah, that inappropriate, gratuitous use of the word vibe. It is the shape I want. It's different than a vibe. It's very material. It's very, very direct. Throat is dry. Yeah, let's see. So, oh, you know what I should have done? Just duplicate it. There we go. Market collection. Okay, I think I might just resolution is so bad on these. I thought the other pictures would be any better, and they're definitely worse. That's why I got that one. Okay, maybe the top one's okay for now. I mean, it's definitely not quite right, but it's our width. It's like just a little over 2 feet. Turn off the ground. Whoa, where is it? Oh, it's invisible in orthogonal view because it is so thin. It's crazy. Ah, this is it. Oh, this is like what I want it to look like. Ish. It's on the way. This music is so creepy. Okay. How about that? only doing one at a time. Oh, I can just do this. So it's along the z-axis. There we go. Something like that. Alright, let's get this one just right. Did I change the height? Oh man, that looks crazy. Oh, if I do orthogonal, then I can't see it. Okay, this works. Oh, the corner's not gonna work like this though. Center it. Center it, it should be pretty close. Okay, so I'm gonna need to do something on these corners. Is that? Looks like it needs to go a little further. Yeah, it looks. It's coming along. Well, I think this was a good step in the right direction. Oh yeah, we're almost done with the soundtrack. Is there no Twitch chat on my channel just because there's no one here? Oh, gosh. I guess that's just probably why I'm in my browser. Why is this like crowd? I don't remember this part of Mario Sunshine. I remember the music, but not that that crowd roaring and cheering. Okay. A little detail I worked on and didn't finish it, but that's okay. I just want to take a look. The big picture. Yeah, I don't know about this cliff texture. I think I just got that from Wind Waker. I'll probably make my own. But I was just sort of messing around with my options, trying out different toon shaders and textures. What I need to do, there's a lot I need to do with this shader. Figure out what's going on with the shadows. A good workflow for outlining and that kind of stuff. So that might be what I work on this week, is the shader. And then how to combine it with textures, which I think is going to be really easy because I already did it with these ones with a much simpler shader, but I think I can just do the same thing that I did. Because like with these, it's like this is the toon shader, and then this is the brick texture, and I just put them in a multiplier at the end. But this new shader, which is much better, is actually much more complicated with this big fat node group. Wow, I did it. I just followed a tutorial to make it, and I understood most of it at the time, but I should probably mess with it this week a few times to try to keep myself familiar with how it works and how to edit things. What I mostly know is, you know, I can change all these colors. I'm not entirely familiar with like how they all affect it. So it's a learning process. The end. Game over. I do think this is a good time to end the stream. Oh yeah, this mode where you can kind of see the sun-ish. But yeah, thank you myself and anyone who's watching this in the future. Thanks for checking it out and seeing how I got started on this project. This is technically the third stream of this project, though I've done most of it offline, honestly. And there's only one VOD posted. The other ones are lost forever. But planning on posting this one, so it'll be there on YouTube. And not next week, but the week after, I'm going to start doing this every Thursday at 7, and give or take an hour. And I'm going to probably do streams in between, but just more spontaneous. Yeah. Thanks again. Bye.